Hello again, YouTube. It's Skylar. Welcome back to my home. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about hair. Now, this is important because hair in our culture is probably one of the most important aspects of femininity, long hair. Now, there is a cultural debate over whether, long hair, we're not worrying about that today. We're worrying about if you're transgender and you have hair issues, what can be done? Okay, so if you've just recently started your transition, or if you're pre-transition and you're thinking about transitioning, the best thing to do is start growing out your hair. So stop getting haircuts. Stop getting haircuts altogether because that's just going to make the problem that much harder to deal with. All right. Now, let's assume that you have, as in my case, unfortunately, testosterone has robbed you of some of your hair. Now, there is good and bad news on that. The good news is that if you are younger, hormone therapy will generally bring back some of your hair, depending on how long you're on it and how young you are and how far the baldness has progressed depends entirely on the person, and sometimes the results may vary. I know in my case, 100% of the hair is regrown, which is amazing because my hair was pretty rough. So in that respect, don't be afraid to transition because you may have already experienced some thinning hair and some balding, because hormone therapy can actually reverse that. That's not 100% for everybody, but in my scenario, in my case, that's what happens. So it is possible. So let's assume for the time being that you have some hair issues. You may want to go with something like a wig. Now, don't be intimidated because wigs are primarily for women. So there's nothing for transgender people that should be ashaming, because wearing a wig is just as feminine as any other woman that would wear a wig. So there's really no stigma attached to that. Now, a couple things to keep in mind if you are deciding to go for a wig. Make sure that you invest in a high quality one. I personally recommend always going with natural hair, which is real human hair, and avoiding the synthetics for a couple of reasons, including that synthetics usually deteriorate faster, have a lot more frizzing problem, are sensitive to heat variations, and are harder to maintain because washing them will damage the strands. So, while human hair wigs are generally more expensive and pricey, it is better for the long run to have something that's going to both last longer, feel better, and look better. So it just makes sense to spend the extra dollars to get a real human wig. Now, don't ever go with some cheap costume wig or something that would be presented for Halloween, because this both is not a good idea because it won't last long. Costume wigs are generally only made to be worn a couple times, and that's about it. And also, because they're so cheaply made, they also look really tacky, and you don't want to go for tacky if you're trying to pull off a good look. So just go ahead and spend the extra money on something nice. There's thousands of different styles, thousands of different colors. You can try whatever you like. There's lots of options online nowadays where you can order it directly to your home, saving you having to go out in public and buy one if that's something that you have anxiety about. Now, there are a couple things to consider when growing out your hair. Make sure that you don't overwash it, and by that I mean don't try to treat it too much with different things. Definitely try to avoid bleaching it because this can damage the hair follicles when you're trying to grow out your hair. The goal is to keep it as healthy as possible so that it grows faster and longer without split ends. Another thing to keep in mind that's really important is making sure that you maintain good diet. And this is often overlooked for people that are trying to regrow their hair because a lot of hair loss can sometimes also be the result of poor nutritional diet. So you may want to look into supplemental nutrition for maybe possible vitamin deficiency. I know personally biotin is a vitamin that does help a lot with hair, skin, and nails. So that's also something to consider. Make sure you check with your doctor. I am not a doctor, so any health questions, you should be going to your doctor, not to this video. But overall, having a good healthy diet in general is just going to be better for you. So whether you're trying to grow out your hair or not, it's just a good idea to eat better. So with that said, I hope that was useful information for you today. And until the next video, I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.